Morning. I know it's not morning time, but I just woke up, bitch, just woke up. Yes, I just woke up, bitch, just woke up. And I'm glad that I don't work today because I just want to step away. I'm like, and then I'm like, and I look at the clock. All right, now, see. Oh my goodness. So first card out I see is money, bitches, money. Some of you all might need to make that money. But what I'm gonna tell you about needing to make that money is that you have the skills already to make the money. You just need to figure out how the fuck you're gonna make that money. Now, when I was a young buck in the industry, I got lucky and unlucky. My parents were all about making money. So, one way that you're gonna be able to make money is by being the man. You need to be the man. You can't be fucking you can't need a man or whatever the fuck. You gotta be the man. So they literally just fucking be pulling out the fucking cash, dude, all the time. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is, but you need sources. And you need to be able to make that shit. You need so much cash, dude, that shit just be fucking coming out fucking all the time, dude. Literally. It doesn't matter from what angle. You're just gonna be bringing in that money, and it doesn't matter how. And when you have your money, what do you do with it? You will need to have your priorities in order. Now, a lot of people have different things that they want to spend their money on. I buy a house. I buy houses. I like to put my money into property and investments. I got lucky and started learning about stocks and shit. In Florida, when I went up there for a work trip, I liked the idea of that. Probably getting into stocks and shit here soon. I needed to research it and everything, but one of the stocks I was looking into getting into were the fucking weed companies, to be honest. My boss at the time didn't smoke weed, so I don't know how he felt about that. But I know what the people that do, shit like that. But it doesn't really matter what you want to do. You can look into it, but you gotta always be thinking like, man, how am I gonna fucking have reoccurring cash? You need to have your cash fucking flowing at all times because money goes. Money comes and goes. Money ain't shit, dude. It's just, I don't even know what kind of paper this shit's made out of, but fucking like, it's really not shit. Okay, guys? Money it's really obviously like what makes a lot of times the world seem like it goes around. But if you're really not investing your fucking money into anything that fucking matters, then what is it really to you? What is it really fucking to you? A lot of people, they still be like working on fucking fashion and fucking all this weird shit and I don't even know, just fucking random shit. And it's cute and everything, but only if you got money to fucking, only if your fashion honestly is making you money. That's really the only time it really fucking matters. When I think about making money, I think about what skills I have and what I like to do. Because working a job is not going to do the trick. Working and making money will not fucking do the trick. For one, most of the time, you'll get burnt out on work just as fast as you will fucking your partners. And life is just a honeymoon stage that crashes into a fucking I'm going to leave you the suck stage. And it's always like that. It's just like, it's recurring. So you're going to have to find ways to fucking keep yourself stimulated. You got to know what your goals are. You got to know what other people's goals are and shit. Because when you go and get with somebody, dude, you're either taking a gain or a loss from that person. Facts. And when your priorities and shit are not in order and you're with people that fucking honestly support your fucking irresponsible behaviors, or you have different goals in mind, those are two fucking totally different investments. And it's very important that when you have a priority or a plan of action that you're trying to fucking be successful at, that you stick with that until it's complete. Or you just end up with a bunch of fucking unfinished business, dude. And stress. And that's really what stress is about, is usually money. For me, my biggest stress is our money, and then after that, it's fucking guys, if I fucking am dating one. And that's where I don't really date a lot anymore. Because I'm trying to stay focused. And when you have to stay focused on your fucking shit, and you got an emotional problem or attachment, whether it's family or fucking friends or a lover, it's very difficult to have a calm mind. Calm mind and clear mind are two different fucking things. And when you are trying to figure out how to be fucking responsible and successful in what you're doing, you do need to stay calm. And in order to make sure that you have a clear mind, you have to actually learn how to practice to do that. For those of you who are not calm and clear-minded normally, that's a training program. And I remember when I started to do that program with myself, it was when I was leaving my last relationship. And I was not having any help whatsoever from anywhere other than Zeke. They didn't help pay bills. Out of all the people I've ever mentioned. So, fuck, dude. I've probably spent like at least 25 or 4 of my 36 years fucking dating somebody. And even in a relationship, dude, I was doing most of the work by myself. And that's not putting them down or saying that they didn't do their part or they didn't do the best they could. It was just saying I wanted more at all fucking times. And it wasn't saying that I wanted more from them at all. That's why I left them. If I fucking was worried about fucking taking from other people, I wouldn't have left them. It said I have dreams and I have goals. Then you got to think about where the fuck are your dreams and goals derived from, and where they fucking who's getting this money? Who's really getting the fucking end result of these dreams of yours? Is it really you and the effort that you're putting into it? Is it the family that you're fucking paying the bills to take care of when you're not even happy there with them? Is it fucking debt from your past? Is it fucking savings for your future? Like, where is your money going, dude? Do you even have a savings? Do you have a 401k plan? Shit like that. I don't have a 401k plan. I need one. Those are things we need to be setting up, bro. Like, we need to be thinking to ourselves, like, what in the fuck do I need to do in this chapter? This chapter doesn't need to sound like all the old chapters. You need to be thinking about your future. Your fucking investments, dude. How the fuck you're going to take care of your kids. So I always have a planner, and I like to just write my to-do lists on there. So I should just do that in the back, but that way it's easy for me to find. And I'm going to set up my 401k plan this week with the Russians. I don't give a fuck who the fuck it's with. Every company that you go to, Peter had one. I should have got one with Great Clips. There's different things that your company will have to offer. If you're somebody who has student loans, your company, like Great Clips, offers to pay back. Like, if you put in, like Great Clips, they match. A lot of companies match your 401k. So if you put 10, he puts 10, you know, and then you got 20. So that's a really good opportunity right there that we need to start thinking about doing. Also, some of your companies will have opportunities where they will help pay off your student loans too. So if you sign up with their company after you get out of college, they do help. They put in a percentage there too. And you need to be thinking about how many sources of income do you need at all times to make ends meet, versus the goals that you're putting into action, or trying to at least. And what is the ratio of that? How much are you making versus how much do you want to make? And are you really being responsible? And when you're not being responsible, just write down what you're doing and where that money is going. Keep a little checkbook. If you guys don't have a checkbook, go down to the bank and open up a bank account. I hear there's a lot of people that just don't want to deal with bank accounts. They don't want to deal with Cash App. There's no reason not to be dealing with Cash Apps and shit anymore, guys. Nobody's really using... You can use Cash if you want, but there's been a big debate on whether or not how long Cash is even going to be around, or how long change is even going to be around. And I'm sure you guys noticed last year during COVID when they were like, oh, there's this change shortage. Please bring exact change. I don't know where the fucking change is going, but whatever. Maybe they took it because it's real silver and they're running low. Who fucking knows? But the truth is that it will more than likely be converted over into all digital here soon. And the real reason for that occurring is because it's going to stop a lot of illegal activity as far as cash spending. They're not going to be able to not track it at all times when it goes through Cash App. Obviously, we know this is a whole generation that's being updated by governmental fucking stuff. So if you're like, oh, the government this and the government that, yeah, they are. But lucky for you, there's a lot of whack-ass people out there, and I highly doubt they're watching us. And I'm worse than you, I'm pretty sure. So if I'm not scared they're watching me, I highly doubt they're watching you to make you feel any better. I've literally been around nothing but fucking kind of what most people call terrible people my whole life, and they still don't watch us. So there's people out there that literally are selling fucking fingers to other people on the black web. So if you think they're watching you for your Cash App, they're not. They don't give a fuck about you. Even though you think that you're fucking popular, we all do, but they don't. So now, what is today coming to? How are people making money today? I'll tell you. There's some interesting turns of events that are happening in today's time for people that are in my generation. So if you're 30s or above, you're pretty much my generation. 30 to probably 50. I'm talking about 30 to 50 right now. So the 30 to 50-year-olds, that's what we're probably calling the millennials. We grew up with the internet. So this is the first generation really like that fucking was introduced to the internet when we were kids. Our parents fucking got on it like nerds, or they just didn't. One of the two. My mom got on the internet immediately, dude. She got a white fucking computer, a gray computer that turned fucking yellow from cigarette smoke. I can't remember, but I remember it was dial-up, and I hated the shit. And I hated fucking her on it 24/7. So I never actually used Facebook until I was 24 or 26 years old. I think it was 24. Isn't that crazy? I stayed away from the internet. So I, like everybody else, had to learn it. I mean, it's annoying if you're not somebody who's like wanting to learn digital shit, but it's the way to go. And I'm going to tell you where most of the money is coming from. It's not coming from your boss. It's coming from your grandpa. And that is a fact. Grandpas who have money, if you have a grandpa who has money, you need to get it. You need to pimp your grandpa out. I'm sorry, but it's true, because if you don't, we are. Girls that are in between 20 and 40 are getting all your grandpa's money. Facts. And I'm telling you because I do hair. And I get to hear at a very fast rate, whether it's from my students at the school or I study. That's what I study. I had to study how to connect with the younger generations for college. They call the younger generation the me generation. They call us the millennials. So the right underneath that's like Gen Z or fucking whatever fuck they want to call it, but that's the me generation. We might qualify for the me generation, but it's pretty much the ones, it's our little siblings right underneath of us. So little siblings, all them fucking littler ones under us, pretty much like, well, they can be 18 at the minimum. So we're talking 18, and I'm sure they go down to even as little as 16, 15, to be honest. So we're talking about 15 to 30 to 40 on average is taking all the money from the internet. The grandpas are done with their wives, and they have many reasons that they are saying they're spending all of the savings. They can say their wife agrees to it, that they don't have intimacy in the relationship anymore, and that's why they want to spend it. They will say that their wife has Alzheimer's. They will say whatever they need to. But basically, your grandpa will tell a story about how your grandma is either okay with it happening, or she is too ill and has given him permission to still be satisfied because of her illness. So either way, that's the lines that they're using. I hear it all the time. And you can also sell your feet. You know, like these are crazy shit, but this is how it's all going. Your grandpa's paying for people's feet, pictures, and fucking dates with fucking young people. That's where most of the fucking retirement funds are for sure going. Now, if all those funds are going out of the door, do you have any savings? If you're somewhere between the years of 30 and 50, do you have a savings account, let alone a 401k plan? I don't. So we would be, and our parents, think about your parents. Well, how are your parents doing right now? Do you look up to your parents? Did they give you any fucking skills? Because they're the ones who also should have a savings account. I highly doubt they do. Do you have anyone in your life that you can call and ask to borrow a few $1,000 from an instant? I highly fucking doubt it. Very few people. We sometimes don't even know who the fuck to call if we need bailed out of jail. The internet has become such an epidemic lately that fucking people don't even remember a number to call when they go to jail. Before I get in trouble by the police, I shit you not, every time I fucking run home, I start making a sleeve of fucking phone numbers, and I'm gonna probably have to get it tatted on. Nobody remembers shit anymore, dude. We hate Google it. So how do you know what's popular with Google? How do you know what people want? They want your grandpa's money. Facts. Every time. There's a variety of ways to go about things. You can either have natural talent and get paid for it. He's a little bitch motherfucker. You can literally entertainment is where it's at. Okay? Entertainment is the one that's getting the most money. Natural talent's great and everything. But if you haven't found a career that you're fucking just naturally amazing yet and you're already made 30, I don't really know how that works. I've never seen it happen. But the internet will tell you right now what is most popular. So if you go on your search bar and you're like, hey internet, what kind of haircut should I do? From the top all the way down, as you scroll, it will go from the most popular to the least popular. So as you're targeting your suspect, your fucking target, whatever it is, you need to think, what's my target? Is your target your boss? Is your target their grandpa, my grandpa? Come from mine, not yours, that's gross. But you're going to think, what is my target and why am I choosing that target? Have you looked into your fucking money-making target? How do you know that person has money? Because they said they do? No. And also, how do you prevent yourself from fucking being involved with people that bullshit you? Because people bullshit. One boss I had, motherfucker couldn't remember if he was offering me 10 or 15% of the fucking work I was doing. Bitch, I don't want neither. You think I fucking work for those numbers? No, I would never fucking take 10 or 15% of nothing, dude. You're a fucking idiot. No, we don't take no fucking 15%. I've never even given a fucking 15% discount. Even at 20%, that's the lowest, bitch. Did you not listen to Tech 9? Do not fucking take no low offer. A bitch you want to give you a low blow offer? Well, they can't even remember which offer they gave you, will fuck you over. And you will be their little fucking bitch, and you will work like a slave, and then they will pay you inconsistently, different amount checks, and you won't even fucking know. You will know what the fuck is going on, but if it's your first time, you're not going to really be sure exactly if you should say something. Is this normal? Did he forget? No, they know. You're just a slave. You're their little bitch. So that's what working for those type of people is like. Somebody who's just like a great person in all reality would be equally fair at first. They would have an urge to want to be fair. I know I do. Even when I got that fucking chainsaw a while back, somebody came back and said they could sell it for $6 instead of fucking $150, which I paid. I wanted to instantly sell it, split it halfway. Why would I now he said, I'll give you 4 if you let me have 2. I said that we could do 3 and 3, dude. I did. I actually corrected it. I would have already been making an extra $150 off of, and I got my $150 back. So I just got a chainsaw for free, made $300, and he made $300. So that's how some people think. And then of course you do. You have people that think, oh, I'll give you an extra $100, or he could have even said, can I please buy that chainsaw back? I need it for work, and my boss actually threatened to fire me. I mean, he could have chose anything. So you're looking at how people speak deals. How do they speak deals? And what is the ratio of your percentage? That's how you're going to know the quality of somebody's heart that you work for. Somebody that tells you things in quote. I had a boss tell me in quote, if you even get a raise. I knew exactly what the fuck he was doing there. He was preparing me for a very low ball raise. So when you say, if you get a raise, that gives you a shock to the heart. Little do all of my bosses know I'm a certified I literally look up fucking mental health. That's what I do. I just study psychology for my students. So while they're trying to pump me, I already know what they're fucking doing. And that's why I will say, if you get. I'll be right back. I'm going to make coffee. So when they say, if you get, you're instantly going to feel that shock of fear go through your body. That's their point. When you know how to fuck with people's emotions, and your psychology smart, you know how to activate the brain to send signals to the body to make people weak and confused. I swear.
Did you say something to me?
No, that you're beautiful. I love you. We'll go downtown in a minute and we'll go do whatever we need to. You need to know what age your targets are. He knew his target, he thought. But he didn't know that I was experiencing what the fuck he was doing. All your leaders are, all of your trained leaders who are especially corporate. Anybody who travels to any type of big named fucking place goes by training programs. Corporations vary on how they get their statistics. Statistics something that I look at regularly because I want to know the mindset of the statistic takers and fucking the ones that come up with these final answers. And everyone, to be honest, gets their statistics differently, which is a benefit for us. When you know your target's way of thinking, you know if you're smarter than them or dumber. It's really what it comes down to. When I asked my bosses, well, my boss, that one, this is the same one. When I went into a raise one day, he quote unquote said, if you get a raise, and I know that what that meant was that he was going to give me the lowest possible option for a raise. But by saying if, it gave me a little hope that hopefully I get something. So that was how he was mind fucking me to do what he was already planning on doing. When you're dealing with corporations or bosses that are number savvy, you have a number or a goal to hit, period. You either fucking win or you lose. Something that they're supposed to do, if you're not hitting that number, is you're not even supposed to be a manager. If your people are not hitting that number and you're not hitting a minimal number, you're not even supposed to have these positions. Unfortunately for them, there's no fucking body that wants to work anymore. The entire world just went digital. They're fucking getting money from your grandpa. But right now, we gotta think. Right now, dude. With none of us in fucking... We don't have retirement funds. We don't have grandpa's money. And grandpa came from fucking some other generation. Like, a lot of us don't have fucking grandmas and grandpas. Thank God for yours. Literally, and all that money is going to be gone. Another issue that most bosses that do have money have is they pick the wrong motherfucking next person to take over a company. We see it happen all the fucking time. Where do you think the Regis hair salon went? They fucking picked this weird ass bitch named Maya to run the fucking place. She never put $1 back into it. Next thing you know, there was no products, the employees were quitting, and the store didn't have its bills paid, and the whole business is shut down. And I'm sure you guys have seen Alfred all the time yourself. You've seen runners-up get chosen for leadership positions that you know are cruel, evil people. It's common. Unfortunately, what the human brain seems to do on average is pick the wrong person. We've done it in relationships, and opposites attract. So knowing who the fucking next runner-up for all companies is pretty much going to be, how do you do that? Look at how long people have been fucking with the company. You need to know at all times what growth is available within a company. If there is no growth available within your company, you will always remain a fucking pretty much grocery store level crew member. And it does not matter at what organization. If there is no opportunity for growth, you should not be staying there. If you get paid, that's great. If you're still learning your position and you haven't completely learned it yet, that's great. But as far as just like keeping a job with no growth, not great. There's nothing smart in that. Companies will fucking come and go. And even if everything seems great right now, let's say fucking he dies, she dies. Look at exactly what happens every time. Vidal Sassoon was one of the best dude, that whole generation, bro. Look at Hugh Hefner. Look at fucking Martin's dad, Glenn Dow. Very different than Martin. Very different, man. Like even Glenn in his 90s, still to this day is healthy. All these old ass people are healthy as fuck, bro. I can't tell you how many 90-year-old clients I have that drive themselves to get fucking haircuts still. How many people do you know that don't even have a car and a license, bro? our generation, unfortunately, this whole fucking middle gap, I'd say maybe 1 or 2 maximum people, if you had a shitty family, came out and did shit with their life. We have all these homeless people on the fucking streets, bro, that fucking are around my age. And not a lot of them use drugs if you look at them. They're not all skinny and weird looking. They're not walking around with their fucking butt below their fucking, or their pants below their butt. We don't see this whole gangster fucking epidemic. Right now we're dealing with a straight fucking, if anything, fentanyl epidemic, unfortunately. And it's a pretty distinct fucking sight to see. You'll know if you're seeing a fentanyl issue because their body looks different than any other drug addict. It's very small and all this weird shit, and all these people on the streets are either homeless for 2 reasons. They have a fentanyl fucking issue for the most part because you're not really seeing a bunch of tweakers down there. That's the tweakers you're gonna know if you see them because they're a lot more fast moving. This fucking twitchy fucking sitting on the fucking side of the road screaming fucking demonic shit, that's not fucking meth, bro. That's this fucking mental health shit. These are mental health pills mixed with fucking drugs that people are using. So their brain's being shut down and literally deactivated in certain areas and activated in other areas, and their body being a computer program, it's like turning the lights off in certain areas of the house and only have some running, and then you're flipping the light switch and this one's on and that one's off. So that's how their body's kind of reacting, and they don't really know how to respond to it. Because when you take mental health pills, it actually says, I'm going to shut down the part of your brain that gives you anxiety. Pills are very smart. They know how to target the brain to either activate or deactivate certain parts of your body. So when you go and you're like, I think I'll have a beer today, now you just fucking mix that fucking with whatever the fuck they deactivated, and now fucking level fucking 19 over here is activated, and you've never even met level 19 yet. We don't know where the fuck anything's going anymore because everybody can mix anything at any time and become anybody else. I could drink a beer right now, I'm a different person. So that's just that. That's easy to figure out. Instead of looking at everybody like they're this and that and blah, 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 just look at them like a computer system. They're an app. They could be their own app, anything they want. Instead of looking at anybody like they're human, just simply think of them as an app that has been downloaded, and that's what the fuck's on that app, and you don't want to play that game. Get your shit out of my fucking chair. Go lay down. So it's really up to you. It's going to be up to you. As you can see here, all of these generations are far and widely gapped. Some of us have no idea what it would be like to have a fucking family or elders that had anything in savings. We've never been able to ask even for money fucking to earn. We couldn't even have raked a yard for money for a prom dress. These are facts. I asked my grandma multiple times if I could work for money. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. I was never the favorite child. It was only a couple of the boys. And it even got to the point where fucking she would specifically make banana bread for certain cousins and not the other ones. You had to be favorite in my family, period, to get anything, and it altered. And it was pretty much the boys. We got a lot of women in our house that fucking are boy fucking happy and fucking they hate women. So that's how that goes. Then we have our parents, who literally, most of us fucking, they were it's one or the other from what I've seen. I grew up with parents that were definitely Rob Zombie, fucking Duhas Mitch, fucking, but dude, I remember the year my mom got the black Camaro that I think was blue at first, and she spray painted it, and she fucking the CD was invented, and she fucking was listening to Afro Man because I got high, and she spray painted that Camaro black, and she fucking bumped it, dude, and I'm pretty sure that's why I'm deaf. Not to mention the fucking car that didn't have a fucking roof cover on it, and she rolled the windows down and the insulation shot off the roof and down my fucking throat in the back seat, and I almost choked and died. That was my parents' generation. So in our parents' generation, for those of you guys who are wondering what the fuck happened, well, what the fuck happened literally was in the 70s, fucking drugs were invented. And it's really funny to listen to people tell these stories. There's a variety of changes that happened during that time. We know Elvis and Marilyn Monroe introduced being sexy and fucking being sweaty and snorting lines. Well then, next thing you know, fucking the Flower Children come in. So if you guys are wondering about the weird and random fucking different personality types that were divided upon the people, I get to hear every day in my chair. They crack me up. You have the ones that I'm sure have to be like what your grandpa who gives everybody all this cash fucking had to have been at first. Against bad things. These are the people, the responsible people that are, this is what I'm going to call them, the people that were afraid of the flower children coming to town. And I get to hear these stories. So these are the men and the women that were afraid of rock and roll and flower children becoming a thing and thought it was just these are the group of people that say, be conservative, no tattoos, no jewelry, don't get your piercings. You know, that's this group right here. They are still and pretty much the only motherfuckers that got money in the bank. Those ones followed all the traditional rules and they're still fucking, except for the fact that now they're fucking cheating, finally. They're gonna come back around. This last generation, from what I see, or first generation, I guess you could call it, the oldest generation out there, for the first time ever, their kids are all fucking grown. They finally have gotten all their grandkids and everything into college. Their duties are done. I have seen several of them now begin to cheat and drive things like boats. I had an old guy who for the first time in his 60s drove a boat the other day and he couldn't smile. He wouldn't like smile like he was teasing about it, but I could see he was trying not to smile and he enjoyed the shit out of it. So what's going to happen in your grandpas and all those generation days is that now for the first time they're going to start spending some money and enjoying themselves. Get your grandpa's money. Grandpa's personality type's changing. He's becoming more fun. He's becoming the type of target that you have been trying to target from other people, but Grandpa would have never fell for it. He's falling for it now for a couple different reasons. Grandma's not able to do things with them, so he's becoming more desperate. And Grandma's also not mentally all there anymore. This could also be Grandma too, but you'd have to be a dude targeting Grandma at this point, which is totally fucking reasonable. The truth is, guys, true love can do anything. True love can do anything, right? So, if you're a mastermind, dude, if I was a dude, I would definitely go after your grandma. Girls are suckers for love. If you know of any single grandmas out there, bye, bitch, for real, take them. Why wouldn't you? That motherfucker got a whole fucking bag of cash, dude, every day. Grandma? And guess what girls like? Girls that are boy hungry, we already know. Boys can do anything almost to a girl who has no self-respect or low self-esteem, and she will always take him back. That's a fact. Men who have money, they don't take women back that fuck them over. They replace more than likely. Women don't. Women are different. They're emotionally connected. So that's where you need to understand your target. Are they a logical person? Are they an emotional person? What do you know about their company? How many people work for their company? Do you know how many people it takes to be a company that has other expectations? Like, for example, a company that doesn't have 15 employees or more doesn't even fucking have the same laws. So those are things that I look at. Why would I want to fucking invest into somebody that fucking doesn't even have fucking level 2 fucking law qualifications? You don't. I could be a company with I have fucking people that clean that I pay. And so you want to really know your laws and your expectations and the regulations, not really for the purpose of necessarily protecting yourself, but because you're choosing a target to take out. If it wasn't you taking out this target, they're going to have somebody else do it to them, or they're going to fucking, no matter what, the money's going bye-bye. So don't feel bad about it. Who gives a fuck, dude? What time is fucking a short crunch fucking live thing right now? People have bills to pay and we have shit to do. Every 30 days there's fucking more bills that have to be fucking paid, dude. And that's just what it is, and prices are increasing. Our bosses are not paying us fucking shit. So we gotta have other sources of income coming in. Some people are choosing to go lay down. They're choosing to sell drugs. I don't really like that route personally myself, because I don't want to be surrounded by fucking a bunch of fucking people that are just losers. I've done it all. I have fucking seen it all. I grew up in a fucking environment where my dad, who's passed away so I can speak about this, was cooking meth. I remember literally being out on this one property. There's never power or water at these places either. That's why I say I get lucky in a way to have went through this. We lived in now that I know where we were living, we were not living in our own houses. We stayed in the back of a semi truck one time and the doors would close completely pitch black. There was a train caboose we stayed in one time. We washed in the canal. And we were fine with that. I remember being in the canal a lot as a young child. And I remember specifically being told, be careful, there's those little gates at the canal and the current can suck you down, and when it does, you'll drown. And literally there's these metal gates in the water. They filter shit. They get stuck through the water trench, and fucking you will die in that gate and fucking be drowned. So I look back at that shit, man. And I think we were warned to be careful when we went down there. I would never fucking let my child fucking... What the fuck, dude? And even now as an adult, when I drive by a canal and I see that fucking cement wall, dude, I just say it takes me back to several different memories. I remember being out on... We would go to these abandoned fields. Fields was a big thing. Typically, my dad would live in campers. He said he preferred it, but I'm pretty sure it's because he was constantly cooking drugs out in the middle of nowhere. And I remember specifically walking around the cartel. The cartel was there regularly, and they still are in our life fucking all of the fucking time. We never had an issue with them. That's where I made that little post saying that, to be honest, I mean, you might be fucking right underneath the nose of a murderer at all times, and you wouldn't even know. But it's about respecting your people. It's about not disrespecting your people. It's about making honest agreements with your people. Never fearing the big dog. I've never in my life had to have a middleman. Because my dad was the cook, I can't tell you how many times I would run in and out of the house and I would see large plates of fucking you-know-what. And it was a casual thing. Everybody was just kind of doing whatever the fuck they were doing. I didn't know what I was looking at when I was little. But I remember now. And fucking, I remember who the fuck was there. And I remember the people. And you know, there was this one time, I'll tell you. There was this one time, one of the fucking persons from our town ripped that same cartel dude off. And hid like a bitch, dude. That motherfucker ran to his mom's house. Which, this person was supposed to be the most biggest, baddest motherfucker in town. That person lost complete respect from pretty much the whole town that day for doing it like this. That person be ripping everybody off. Just like a boss that fucking want to pay you like a bitch. After you do all that hard work, right? That's why it does not matter. Let people fucking take your money. Their loss is way greater than anything you could ever fucking lose. And you'll probably end up saving money in the long run from this motherfucker not fucking mooching off you anymore. Let a bitch fuck you over. Handle your shit. Not like these guys did. I just don't fuck people over. But in this case, dude, they sent the word out, bro. You better give me my fucking money. That motherfucker, I shit you not, fucking cut a hole out in the wall. In the bedroom. For when the cops came regularly and actually could take the wall off and hide inside of the wall. And that's what he did. He got away with that several times. But in this case, the cartel still came and they shot out every window in the whole fucking house. Now that person's clean today. They decided that maybe drug dealing wasn't their thing. Probably because they couldn't get it anymore for fucking people over and running like a pussy. But even if you're the one shooting the gun or getting shot at, that's life in the drug world. Is wondering, honestly, at any given minute, who the fuck's higher than the other one, who's going to wig out. There were many houses that I was at. You couldn't have your phone out. Or they thought you were recording. And there was this one guy, man, he had the punch of a fucking boulder. And I'll shit you not, that motherfucker could get high at any time and he wigs out. He would look at your fucking railing and think it was a human and knock it the fuck out and think it was recording him. One time he punched on me so fucking hard he flew into the wall, dude. I bet you his fucking face bones were broke. I was scared. He wasn't even recording. It was a mistake. So those are things you gotta think about. Do you want to fucking be involved in that shit? I sure as fuck don't. Even if I'm tight with those people or not. You know, when my dad died, I'm pretty sure legit like fucking the cartel called. And you know, I talked to them. And I said, he's fucking dead. Fucking die. And fucking, I know it was them. And I wasn't even scared to talk to them about it. Because you know what? When you're an honest, genuine fucking person that acts like the big dog, they relate to that. When you treat a CEO like a human being, they are a human being. I could be a CEO at any time. I'm technically a CEO of my fucking entertainment business. I'm technically a CEO of my fucking Comfort Casa. It's just about how many clients you get and how fast it builds. How popular you are. A CEO is somebody that has a fucking dream, a business license, and then proceeds and is accomplished. It doesn't matter. CEOs could be literally a small business. People are just labeling CEOs based off of popularity. So now the popularity thing is really just because they have researched how to fuck your minds over. People pay a lot of money for name brand shit and all this shit based off of fucking what trend and all that shit is. So if you want to target trend followers, that's where you want to think. Who is my target? If you're dealing with a badass, dangerous motherfucker, you don't want middleman energy. I hate middleman energy. I would never fucking be sold to by a middleman. Why the fuck would I go to a middleman when my dad's the fucking chef? You know what I mean? So I had a mindset, really strong mindset at a young age, regardless of whether or not I did things with my family. I didn't start using it until fucking later on down the road. But I remember very specifically many people coming to my dad, trading shit. They wanted more. My dad worked those bitches to the fucking bone, bro. Unbelievable shit. My dad could have 50 people over there wiping his ass in a line, not speaking for fucking one hit of the most of a fucking farted on fucking piece of oil that we don't even know for sure is real shard. He's like, there's some shard on there. And they're like, what kind though? Literally, these people did slave work endlessly for my dad. They would bring him, this is how I use the example, but I remember one time, being specific, this dude, he came over. I don't remember what he had, but I remember the conversation. And my dad was casual. He was just like, I don't need it, Marty. I don't need this brush. Yep, got a plenty of them. Now let's say that brush, it was like literally as one of a kind as the Titanic necklace. But this is how a badass motherfucker act like your Titanic necklace matters. He's so casual. So you need to, if you want to do things in a way where you want to remain friendly, just watch your tone and just act like it's just simple and doesn't matter. Oh yeah, it's no problem. Yeah, I wish I could. I just don't need that. I just have a bunch. Dude lowers his price. So when you act like you already know or are familiar with what the offer is that somebody's presenting, their master plan goes out the door. Because everyone prepares the speech before entering any business deal. They're thinking 24 hours before, if not days, hours before fucking how they're going to even ask you to meet. So you got to think. You need to backtrack. They're no different than you when it comes to meetings. The only difference during a meeting is really like the power of your own self-worth. Who the fuck do you think you are when approaching another person? Do you think you're a little bitch? Do you think you should fucking drop your price? Or when somebody say they don't want your fucking product, do you say very well, hey, yeah, well, it was good to see you and I'll talk to you later, and you fucking leave? Or you can say, well, can you just do it for 10? And he's like, I don't need it. And he's like, my dad would have like a 5-gallon bucket of Yola or whatever fuck. He's like, yeah, I just don't really need it, Ricky, I'm sorry. You know, and then Ricky'd be like, $5, Larry. All of a sudden, desperation kicks in, and you go from dropping it to fucking boom, 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 boom. My dad got that shit for fucking maybe giving him a fucking second-hand fucking hit of weed. That's not even what he was there for. I remember he walked out with maybe 1 or 2 bowls max. And whatever the product was, as soon as the dude shut the door and left the site, my dad was stoked. He picks up the item. He didn't have one of them. I didn't even know that. My dad was playing him the whole time. My dad, with kindness and a smile on his face, could drop anybody down to not only fucking basically giving them $1 for a $500,000 product, he also knew how to word things in a way that said he really just didn't need it. So he didn't even insult nobody. He was lying, he was manipulating, but he chose different characteristics to proceed in success. So none of it is good. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I got lucky to have witnessed this shit at a young age, because to be honest, this is what the fuck's going around us 24/7, bro. I watched desperation at its best living out there on that property. That property, I thought it was really his. I can't tell you how many times drug addicts will find a vacant spot and claim that they got a place. James did it to me once too. Now I'll tell you what, if you ever walk into a weird, stinky, fucking nasty, fucking weird looking place and somebody ever tries to tell you the landlord rented it to them like that and they fucked you over by not cleaning it up, that is a lie. More than likely, from my experience, whoever the fuck they're in house went to jail and got busted. And they know when they're supposed to be released, and they're basically in there just squatting. This particular house was the same thing. This was that same property, man. And it blows my mind knowing we were sleeping in the back of a semi-truck. I remember the darkness of that truck, dude. And I think to myself all of the time what it's like to be in a metal semi-truck. Or one of those fucking metal, oh my gosh, you know those metal fucking storage crates where they fucking find dead bodies and shit in the movies? Like, that's where the fuck we were staying. That's crazy to me. It's unbelievable. And you know what's interesting? I'm not okay with this at all. And it makes me actually wonder right now as I'm even saying this out loud. I black out, bro. In between fucking knowing about the metal on the inside and the doors closing, which fucking when you black out, fucking you already know, dude, something weird fucking probably happened at that moment. But I'll tell you what, like fucking a lot of weird shit is gonna happen in your life. You might grow up and fucking be around people that are fucking doing all the shit that I explained. Bathing in the canal. Fucking sleeping in the back seat of a fucking back of a semi-truck. Living in houses with no power and water. I seen it all. I seen it all. These fucking people are nuts in that area. But even the ones that are successful and have money and didn't do drugs, this is not my money. I earned it. Because fuck, dude. So fucking idiots. Why the fuck wouldn't we take it? So you got options. You're like, do you want to work like a slave for fucking your boss who wants to give you 25-cent raises? That was my last boss. Gave me a 25-cent raise after a year. He's the one that open statement saying, if you get a raise. If I get a raise, huh? Yeah, well, if you have a fucking manager in a minute. You're an idiot if you think if I get a fucking raise would ever work for me, bitch. So I did what my dad said. And you know what's interesting about that day that he said that? He sat back in the chair and he stared deeply into my eyes and followed through. A man who thinks he's a boss but is actually a bitch can't help but squint his eyes when he's about to fuck you over. Because he's learned some skills. And this can go for women too, but my dad was the motherfucker. I've seen everything that you could possibly see. And I also watch face expressions, and my dad is my favorite fucker over. Because you know why I was never mad at my dad for anything that he ever did? Stop. He always had a pleasant face expression. My dad was a true psychopath. And he was not unhappy with his behavior. He was very happy with what he did his whole life. Even if we would have had a broken leg, he was very optimistic and he would have said things like, just walk it off, Tara. Just walk it off. And even though him and my mom got divorced and she went after him for the maximum amount of child support, I'm talking endlessly, she ruined his life. She was fucking disgusting and she was fucking inappropriate and she was completely out of fucking line with her behavior. And fucking I'm pissed about it. She fucking literally fucking sabotaged his welding business to the max. She was so fucking mad that he fucking left her. When fucking she's never gotten any happier ever. I mean, how the fuck could anybody have stayed? You pushed him away and you hated him for leaving. She fucking took us away. She made sure his visits were fucking compromised. I mean, it was horrible. One of the things I remember her doing literally to him was fucking taking her welding. He finally fucking either stopped going and doing the welding business because I'm sure if you have somebody that pursues you for child support endlessly and relentlessly, they find numbers to come at you for where they can somehow get 50% of your wages. We all know if you paid it. I don't care. My son turned 18, thank God for that. Some of you guys only have a couple more years left, and if you don't have a couple more years left, you got fucking hella more years. And you better fucking think if you don't have any kids, who the fuck's gonna come after you for your money? Because they don't fuck around. Money hungry bitches are something that you can be familiar with right from the get-go. They don't fucking work. If you're around a bitch that has no money, she will never pay. There's two types of bitches, bro. bitches that literally pimp broke guys out. Broke guys. Even if you think you got a job, you got a place, you got a car, you really know you don't have a whole lot. That's why you took a shower. That's why you got dressed up. That's why you made sure you went to the car wash before you picked up this bitch on this date. Like, so when this chick is hitting on you, and I'm actually having this currently happen, what they will do is they're gonna act better than they fucking are, and they're gonna make you feel like you may not be exactly good enough for them, but it's so close of a level. You guys are probably on the same level, if not maybe just one. There might be one above you. You guys are so close of a level. One person knows this, and you need to know this too, because you would have never been contacted by this person or even accepted into this workplace or as a dating option for these people had you not been right fucking there. So don't ever let yourself make yourself believe that you got some random opportunity because of this great fucking reason. There are very few reasons why the fuck anybody gets a great opportunity for no reason. If some great person hits you up out of nowhere and it's like, I have a leadership position or I have this really great position available, would you be interested in it? I'm going to tell you right now, that is not normal. People are not taking the position because the way the person who's asking you to take it treats them. People more than likely are quitting in every company. There's problems. There's a lot of toxicity. And basically, by coming in and taking a leadership position, you need to understand to prepare for that. That's what's going to happen. To be a leader, it's not about being a boss, bro. That's why the fuck people are quitting jobs. Leadership is about you being able to peer out into a room and see talent within everyone. That it will be different. And it's also about experience. When I first started to be a leader, I didn't want whiny ass little bitches in my business. I hated them. It's those same, I didn't want snitch ass little corporate calling bitches around me because I'm convict energy. No, you do. So you'll do trial and error about how you mix and match people. But the truth is actually at the end of the day, I needed one of each. I needed a snitch ass corporate calling little fucker. Because it's that little fucker that likes to do the fucking paperwork that I don't. Those ones, if you want to be technical, they're the ones that know if you walked in 1 minute late. And they write it. They're the ones that know it says to write a write-up for the 1 minute late. So they wrote you up. And they're on it. You need to sign this, please. At first, it can be really fucking annoying. But as you progress and you elevate with your smartness and your experience through business, you're going to start to see how important that person is for you. As a leader or somebody who would call and say, hey, do you feel, even if you're having somebody watch your kids, is that motherfucker not the one you want? Yeah, it is. You don't want me over here who's teaching your child how to fucking chainsaw and build a bonfire. And that's the difference. You got some people, regardless of their different talents and skills, that do different things. So it's about really observing everybody in the room, seeing what they like to do. You have some that don't want to talk to the clients at all. They would rather be in the back cooking. They don't want to be at the front desk fucking taking orders, you know, shit like that. Then you got the ones that are in the front. They don't even know how to cook. So it's like every single person around you always has a skill to activate what is right to be activated and also wrong. We're never in life without whatever skills that we need at all fucking times to do whatever it is that we need to do. And not all things that we do are going to be the highlight of what we're doing. So it's going to take work. Everything takes work. Even when you're looking forward to a vacation, you can plan it ahead. And you're like, well, in February, we're going to the Bahamas. And you're like, yeah, in February, we're going to the Bahamas. Yeah, so in February, we're going to the Bahamas. Then you go to the Bahamas, it's over. Done. That's it. So really, we've been like, we look for all this excitement and we think that we're getting fucked over because we got to pay bills, we got to do this, we got to do that. But guys, it's true and everywhere of life. What you need to do is now literally understand the internet is available to study psychology. Psychology, it really only developed in the 90s. Mental health and counseling developed in the 90s, guys. That is so close ago. R&B, that was the whole damn time. It didn't develop until after fucking all these drugs evolved and people started. It was our generation. It's the millennials. Our parents did not fucking think it was even wrong to fuck a minor. In 1983, the laws became a thing for no 18-year-olds to sleep with adult, under 18 and adult. That was 83, you guys. So when we were taking all of our Holocaust tests at school, that shit was literally right yesterday, bro. And that's insane to think that when you're a little kid reading out of your history book, those people are still alive. And it was fucking 20, 30 years ago. When you think of it like that, that means things have just been developed and established. This is only one generation above us, which we can see every generation and how it's changed, has decided that's what they think is going on. So that means we can alter any of these fucking facts now. We are the foundation of facts. Just so you know. Mariah Carey and all them, and MTV, that shit was the introduction of MTV music, bro. I remember that shit happening. I remember MTV coming out and Daria was on there and shit. To think of that now, knowing that we watched Addams Family in black and white. We watched the Walkman, the iPod, the frickin' Discman. We literally watched internet become. So just because these ones underneath of you were born into the internet, you need to understand you're the foundation. So what that means is that everything now is going social. We know everything's going digital. Once I went through psychology for students and learned about the me generation, which I had to do for teaching. As a teacher, you're supposed to change your teaching style up every 20 minutes to keep your students from falling asleep in class. And so in order to do that, you need to know how they think. And every school is different. That works out. Some schools are very strict, and sanitation is a big priority. And OSHA regulations and laws are a big priority. Where other schools could care fucking less. Now, even though you would think regulations, laws, and OSHA would be a big problem, because, for example, if you go to a salon and you have a personal item in your station, $500 fine. If OSHA walks through the salon and they look at your fucking brush and somebody's hair's in it, $500 fine. So that was what I dealt with at the first place that I worked at. Second place I worked at, they had no fucking care in the world for fucking laws. There was no dress code. There was a full-blown crack through the middle of the fucking entire school floor. And you're making that much money and you don't put money back into it. And that's what I mean by working for the right leader right there. When you apply for a place, give it to me. If you apply for a place, give it to me now. And the condition of the building looks poor, and they're running it up saying, oh, this and that, fucking we're so amazing, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not. No, they are not. When you walk in and the culture, people are not getting along, they're not doing good. If you are not from the company and you receive a call saying, can you please come in and manage for me? That's not a good sign. They did not just call some random person and say, hey, you have earned your lucky position as my manager. Do you think that out of all the hundreds and thousands of people that have passed through this person's eyes, that out of nowhere they just call you because you're the most talented? When you're in your 20s and you get that very first management position call, it's unbelievable. You can't believe it. I'm still glad I took mine. I got a call from the school to become one of the teachers there. Actually, I was like hunted down for 2 years to do it. I didn't do it because the students were really weird about if you went to college, you can come right back. Basically, if you go to college for any course, you guys, if it's a trade program, and you want to become now an educator for that trade, some places offer you basically do a year for the trade or a little less. It's usually like 9 to 12 months. That's great. I have 9 to 12 months. Many of us did for our pregnancies. I love 9-month programs because you get certified in things. And it's short-lived and it's focused solely on what you're there to study. If you go to college and you didn't do the Running Start program, you have to do 2 years of AA right off top, which is pretty much like fucking reviewing what you know from high school. It's a little bit more advanced than college, but basically, like, you guys need to make sure you're putting your kids through that Running Start program. The Running Start program begins when they are a sophomore or junior in high school. And this program allows the kids to take their 2 years of college while they're finishing their last 2 years of high school, which is ideal. You don't want to be paying for 2 years of college if you want your kids to go to college when they can actually get into this stuff for free during high school years if they simply just sign up for it. Yes, their grades have to be, I imagine either 3.5, probably, 3.5 seems like it might be the number, but I'm taking a wild guess. 4.0 is obviously the highest that you would have. You should always be making sure that your kids' grades don't drop ever to a C. We had a rule in my mom's house that said we could have 1 C and we were still grounded. Grades for your children really matter. And also, if you guys want to think about it, this whole lower generation, I don't know if they're going to be able to stand for 4 hours for even a part-time position in all reality. Kids are not running around anymore out there and playing for long periods or days on end. They just don't do it. They're sitting down and they're on digital devices and they're pretty much pampered. We love them very much. A lot of us came from fucking people that came from the struggle. And so naturally every other generation you're going to want to do things different than the one above. So if you have a child that's closer to your fucking mom or dad, that's why. It's common to skip a generation. I hear it all the time from clients all the time in my chair. And I know it from firsthand experience because my mom's mom, obviously, she must have owned some property if she paid my mom. We didn't know anything about my grandma's. My mom was mad. I only seen a couple times before she died. Like I said, a lot of the family likes guys. They don't like the girls in our family. And I feel bad for my grandma a little bit because she adopted my mom, and that would really suck, honestly, to like adopt the one child that didn't want to be there or whatever, you know. That would really suck. But what happened wrong in that generation, I can tell you with my mom. I know my mom and her mom were very different. So during the time when my mom was a young girl, salon services became a thing. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen the old perm chairs, but they are not the business. They look like some kind of execution unit. It is unbelievable. We have one at the old school. Images of the old perm chairs. What the fuck, bro? You have got to be kidding me. Look at what the fuck our parents had to do. What is this? I'm pretty sure this is electrical current hooked up to the top of the fucking... This is what they did. If you guys walk by the school downtown, Glendale, literally, hi Johnny, I love you. Hi Lamar. Hi everybody over here. Can you speak with me in Arabic? Yeah, I'll write you back. I do the translator. I like to speak your guys' languages with you. It's fun to put a little effort into it. Yeah, bro, are you fucking kidding me? What even is this? This is, I bet you, is this not where they fucking came up with that movie Pinhead? What even the fuck is this? So what happened basically is somebody out of nowhere decides they're gonna fucking be salon savvy and you're gonna invent things with natural chemicals. So you got fucking Einstein over here decides he's gonna make perm solution. Because this is how it actually starts. Somebody out of nowhere decides, we should do this, we should do that. That's how literally everything has become invented. And the chemicals, I can promise you that because I know firsthand about chemicals from my dad. Ammonia, anhydrous, lithium, all of it, dude. I know everything about you know what's crazy? Ammonia was a regular, and anhydrous, regular products in the household. Those are very deadly. At the school, we actually mix ammonia to create a false gel base that the students use to practice on mannequins so we don't waste product. And nobody's allowed to touch the ammonia because when you inhale it, it can actually be very harmful on your lungs. Make people very sick. And I always handled that fine. And I would always say, oh, reminds me of my dad, reminds me of my dad. But basically, the chemicals in the old days were just as pure as the gold and the rubies and the pearls that they were finding and the silver in the fucking rocks at that time. Gold mining and chemical extracting was a very, very, very popular thing during our parents' time. Their parents before that were very previously traditional as far as doing things the way that some 3D person decided things should be done. And we already know from like the 50s, you know, before, it was all pretty much about being owned by your man and some mayor, I don't know exactly who it was. It must have been probably pretty much like the most popular dude in the city. Sounds like a mayor-like image. Made a rule of what it would be. This could have came from the church. It could have came from the most successful man. But we know in the old days, the men were wearing those cute hats. They were all suited up. Or they were like Jesse James. And you pretty much had property. You had a wife who was obedient. And your family had a farm. They typically had a piece of land. Even in the pioneer days, they were building a little house on the prairie and their family was operating as a unit and everybody was obedient. The woman never ever ran the house. They didn't do divorce. It was actually a very, very big shame if you ever did anything unclean. So as time passed, basically people just became more human. They started to realize that well, and I'm sure the Bible didn't help as much as they thought it would. When you have the Bible coming now out, which bedrock, we know the Flintstones literally were writing on fucking pieces of rock. So somewhere along that way, we got cavemen already established now. Fucking, according to history, dude, Adam and Eve fucking were talked to by the snake in this book. For whatever reason, all these logical people out of nowhere believe in this invisible man, Jesus, which is fine. I like all these stories. I was actually very Christian and very anti ever talking like this. If anyone ever doubted God or Jesus, I instantly shut that shit down. I would tell them, don't you ever fucking dare say that. And I remember hearing many people say, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just saying, you know, so don't you ever fucking disrespect my Jesus. You know, I would always say that. But over the last few years, between the Mormons coming over here and my study on spirituality, hi sweetheart, and then my son going to school and them teaching him, the schools are now teaching us about all religions. And as you actually do study up on that a little bit more and more and more, you start to realize that what the hell, there really are a lot of religions to choose from, and every religion is very different. So as time goes on, people are offering more and more information that's out there and available. And time has just changed. There's so many different things that people can choose from. And even though in the old days, you know, you weren't supposed to do this or that, you know, thanks to fucking Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, the rock and roll era, and the rap intro. And now, to be honest, gay pride, we have very little limit. So it's not about what you want or not want, but that is really some of the big game changers right fucking there was Marilyn Monroe and Elvis. They introduced sex appeal. They took it from the Beatles to sweaty cocaine sex and images of fucking modeling and inappropriate shit. The camera became invented, so women could be seen now. Single life became a thing. Women who did what they wanted, which now today would be like a Muslim woman doing what she wants. That's how serious it was back then. That's why everybody said, shame, shame, shame. They didn't know what to do. Our parents were in a division to basically have to make a choice. Do we support gay pride or not? That was their dilemma. And everybody knew that so many people in this group said it was all of these consequences if you were gay, or it was consequences if you were disobedient, it's consequences if you used drugs. To be honest, they didn't even know what the drugs would do. The drugs as they came into our lives have literally been brand new every time. They obviously started with weed. They called the flower children. And when I talk to clients in my chair, they're horrified still. I got clients that still hate rock and roll. I heard a client listening to it. We listened to the rock and roll station at my salon. And this guy got the weirdest face. He reminded me of one of those fucking dudes off of one of the Ugly Kid Joe videos that's pissed that he's, won't you be my neighbor or something, and he's pissed that Ugly Kid Joe moved in, and it's that fucking man who can't stand the rock and roll music. I've never seen one in person. We've seen him in the videos, but I've seen one in person last year at the salon, and he cracked me up. And he was talking about how much he hated rock and roll, and he's very serious about it. He hated rock and roll. He hated it so much, the sound of the song ruined his mood. He expressed it verbally. His face expression, his tone, his body language, his demeanor, and his entire being was altered at the sound of this music. So that's how little control people have over themselves. That's how little knowledge they really have about themselves. They think they have knowledge about the situation, and that is why they have made the ultimate decision to give that much power over themselves away. So you're telling me it affected you that much because you don't like it. Okay, so then why don't you like it? Why really wouldn't we like something? Because somebody said it along the way of time. That's it. It was never on earth that anybody didn't like something. The only story we've ever been told, for sure, is that Adam and Eve came down and a talking snake convinced her to eat an apple, and then they put their clothes on, and everybody started to judge everybody. But yet the same people who let a man literally fucking suffer on a cross, and not one of those people, which is who the fuck are our elders today, stuck up for Jesus, because they say they weren't supposed to. That's who we look up to, guys. No, we don't. I'm sorry, but we don't. I don't fucking look up to anybody that thinks like that. So that's what I've been doing with my life, is literally fucking studying that. Where the fuck over time did they come up with these ideas, these traditions, these foundations? Insecurity. And fucking literal fucking... It was pretty, it was trend following the whole damn time. I'd say 70 or 80% of the world is into trend following. It's a waste of fucking time. And it makes everybody look like a groupie. People that are into trend following, you're stuck mentally and emotionally still more than likely in middle school. Whenever you're addicted to a behavior, whether it's cheating, having too much sex, partying, throwing fits when a situation occurs, wanting to be popular, feeling insecure, it's because of a moment in your life when you were basically turned down or disappointed or scared, frightened. It was a moment of negativity upon your emotional and physical body. You basically can picture yourself walking in and you have spent hours preparing for this moment. Just picture yourself like fucking getting ready to ask somebody on a date, and you get ready, you do your hair, and you really go above and beyond to fucking get the results that you were hoping to get, and You didn't get shit. That's how fast you lost too. What you did, all of this, wasn't even noticed, dude, by who the fuck you wanted to impress. For these people in that moment, it caused emotional destruction. So emotional destruction can be caused when fucking you go through your first breakup. You're devastated. You didn't put your efforts into multiple sources. That's why you need to do with money too. Don't have one source. You can't have one source. You need all of these sources so that when dickhead does that, you're like, oh shit. Well, that sucks. I really liked my car, but that's okay. I still have a job, and I paid my water and power bill, and I can probably catch an Uber, and I have dinner to eat tonight. You know what I mean? But when that is your only fucking thing, and you're not open-minded to the fact that any of these, honestly, even at one time your house, what if your fucking an airplane crashed on all of these at once? Done. That does happen. It's rare, but sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's two things, 3, 4, 5, 6. The problem with people fucking falling apart is they are putting it into one source. And no source that you can see or touch should ever be number one. You can choose whatever source you want to come in as your third placement. But number one has to be your higher power. And number 2 has to be yourself. So that you can study that, what we talked about all right here earlier. Because if you don't take the time to understand why the fuck you just took a loss from fucking item number 4, you're going to think you're just a loser, right? That somebody took it from you. How did this happen? I can't believe it. There's only so many things that you could really think in that moment. But if you're open-minded and you know that, honestly, to be honest, a hole could fall through the floor right now and fucking China could eat my fucking microphone, and we don't know for sure. What if an invisible man stole it? Harry Potter, when the more open-minded you become and the less logical and the more creative, you will start to have more solutions available. You will start to be able to just be like, well, to be honest, a pigeon could have flew down and stole it, to be honest. It could be anything at that point. And the more open-minded that you become, you're just you have more joy, you have more experiences, you see a lot of other ways of doing it. And you really will, hopefully, by the end of it, just realize, dude, nobody's the fucking same at all. Nobody's the same. No one. I've graduated thousands and thousands of students. I've met their families. I've met their siblings. I've met their children, their boyfriends, their girlfriends. I've seen them come and go from jobs. I know which students are fucking work till 2 a.m. as a bartender and have no baby daddy. I know which ones are in abusive relationships. I know why the fuck they fail their tests. I know who the fuck needs help and when they don't. I go above and beyond to make sure that not only when they're studying throughout their fucking week, we make it fun. But I study shit like fucking changing your teaching style. I try to be super fun for them. I love teaching. I love going up there and just doing different things. And the point of being a teacher or even a learner is to understand creative ways to remember it and to teach other people about it. If you're learning anything and just keeping it to yourself, and you also dread having to learn it, I don't know that you're really receiving the blessing like you're supposed to, and that could be where you're having karma. God is giving us opportunities at all times to be around His teaching angels. So whenever you see somebody that has something that is better than yours, that's an elevation opportunity. Whenever you're in a situation to be disrespected, fucked over, pinched, ripped off, fucking skimped, you have an opportunity in that moment to fucking be a lesson for them. Don't take it. Say, what the fuck is that shit? I don't look like 20. And they want to be like, oh, Anthony, 20. You're like, you have all options in this moment. We've all been there. Weigh it for me then, bitch. You shouldn't even say weigh it. You should just fucking not touch it, bro. Not touch it. Fuck that. But in desperation, we accept. We accept. We stand down. We don't do the different thing. And some of y'all don't mind fucking any of that life. I really don't mind it. I don't mind the drug life. I never had a problem in the drug world. I never ripped people off. My dad taught me you have different levels you can do shit. You could be a chemist. You could be the fucking main man, the fucking straight cropper. That's step one. Obviously, you'd want to be the fucking scientist. It's very valuable. I'm not into it. I would help, but I really hated it. This is my dad for me. Underground tunnels. No shit. Underground tunnels. Like, one of them, you would walk out to this field, and 500 feet or so fucking out, my dad, there was a fucking wire. Could have been anywhere. Fucking, you pull the wire. About 50 feet forward, a pallet pops up out of the ground. A pallet looks old. It's broken wooded. I show you not, that pallet was a gateway to an underground house. Thousands of them. That's all we did. Underground houses. And you know how the fuck dug those out? They were there when my dad died. Someday I'll show you guys the videos. I haven't been in one in years. I haven't used with my family in years either. I moved up here fucking... It gives me anxiety even thinking about it. I hated it. I didn't hate it. I hated the coldness outside. I didn't want to go to the fields. I hated being surprised out of nowhere that somebody was going. My dad always wanted somebody to go. It was a lot. Everywhere we went with my dad was at nighttime, and it was freezing. And my dad was not their normal parent. Normally, if I was going to go cook in the middle of the night into a field and do drugs, I would never ask Taylor to wake up and come with me. But that's where generations and stuff change. Some people like company when they hang out and do stuff with or without a minor. But I guess, to be honest, if back then there was no laws really saying kids and adults were separated by age. To be honest, our parents didn't. If you were somebody who was a victim of rape, pretty much by anybody that is above the age of 30, that really wasn't a thing. It would be like right now them saying cigarettes are illegal. Okay. You know how everybody feels about the law. In the old days, until 1983, you could fuck anybody's kid at any time. They were selling people. I mean, we know of many countries that honestly, women don't have rights. And they say specifically, even, what is it, China? Sons are the fucking pride and joy. And literally, like, it was, like, feet size was a big deal. They would tape their fucking girls' feet so they wouldn't continue to grow. You had to be a certain height. You had to be a certain size. Even in China, there's limitations on how many kids you can have. And fucking, you don't want a girl. The only way you want a girl is if your daughter is so fucking beautiful that one man and his great family, a man with a great reputation and family, who would maybe pick your fucking daughter. That's pretty much it, because the daughter they don't talk about the daughter fucking being a good cook, a good clean. They talk about that girl if they want to keep her. With child limitations, they can choose to fucking get rid of the baby because it's a female. So the whole damn time you're having this kid, you're setting yourself up to want a boy, find out it's a girl, you're fucking terribly ashamed. If there's possibly, I don't even know, maybe they get paid or something, that might be the only benefit for their daughter. They must obviously get something maybe out of it, or they wouldn't have any reason to keep the daughter. But basically, the daughter's only value is to be chosen by a boy who is of supposed societal value. What a disgusting fucking tradition. That is so fucking disrespectful to everyone in the fucking whole place. That does not give anyone the ability to enjoy things. That makes you fucking start your whole fucking life off fearing having 50% chance results, bro. 50% chance you could have a girl. And then you just know that there's all these standards that she has to look like this. So she gets born into this place of societal standards. And everyone is weak. You're telling me in all these places, we're being fucking ran by leaders that think like that? Would you ever let somebody fucking tell your child today in this day that they were fucking the wrong body shape and to duct tape their fucking body to fucking look a certain way, or they were going to be literally shamed upon by their own parent even, and then told and taught that society would never accept you? That is crazy. I understand that as time goes on, things change and people learn more and they understand more. That I accept. But their way of thinking, you guys, came from literal warfare and imprisonment. People like Hitler. And when you really think about it overall, you guys, like, this isn't about, like, people wanting not the government to have things. It's not about theory people and fucking conspiracy people. It's true. Conspiracy people come off like fucking panicky because they're passionate about the subject they talk about. It's no different than anybody else getting excited and talking too fast and coming off like too much. But if you have the ability to be open-minded and see what they're doing and saying and why, which is for that reason, they're passionate. They have learned and studied on so much that they're freaking the fuck out, basically. Some people, when they get excited or passionate, and I see it happen at the school all the time, and I've seen it happen at treatment. So it doesn't have to be an addict who speaks fast and out of control. It's a passionate subject speaker. These people that speak in fast form are passionate. They're not crazy. They're not stupid. They're not weird. They're not annoying and obnoxious. You may just not have the skill at this time to understand their personality type. So although a lot of people are looking at all these other people because of the way or the form they communicate, they actually are the less knowledgeable for judging that person and ending conversation, walking away. Setting boundaries is one thing, but a true boss can see why somebody is speaking in panic, and they can teach that person with respect how to stay calm. Understand what they're doing, make them feel like what they're saying is of value, and allow this person, through really just visual guidance, they're leading by example. A true leader leads by example with respect to his people, seeing that everyone is where they are at all times on different levels in their life, and this changes at all times. We talked about chemistry labs, your body being one. I changed right now as I spoke to you, even just taking it off my weed. Literally fucking every single thing you put into your body will change the dynamic of who you are in that moment. If you want to know for how long, look it up. Say, I drank 4 beers today. Google, I'm a 36-year-old man. What'd that do to me? It literally will tell you. Your body and brain is a program. You learned this in elementary school. It said, take a test. What is an atom? What's a molecule? You are. Learn about it again. Refresh your memory. If you want to know about laws that are passionate to you, you just look it up. Say, hey Google, when was the first year that marijuana came to Washington? When was the first year that MTV hit? What you're doing there is you're finding your foundation of your passion. Everybody's in a different shit. So when you're thinking about making money, money comes with passion. The difference between work and a career is passion. No matter what, you're giving your money away. And more than likely, there's going to be a lot of times when, in average, it's adding up to about 6.5 days a week. Between the time they have to spend being responsible, doing your laundry, cleaning your house, taking care of your kids, cooking dinner, going to work, and paying the bills, trying to come up with side shit to get more money, making your love life work, overcoming your depression, your stress, and just finding times to have fun and enjoy yourself. It's a lot. So I wouldn't be hanging out with anybody, honestly, that uses these interim quotes. I'm bored. You're bored? How the fuck are you bored, bro? Go fucking do the Swiffer the kitchen, motherfucker. No. Anybody that's bored ain't fucking bored. For one, they're trying to bone you. What idiots. Unfortunately, and who gives a fuck, dude? There's a bunch of people out there in this world that are worried about love, and those type of people don't even fucking love themselves. Those are the type of people that want to say shit like, I'm bored. Bitch, for real. Like, for one, I will do it. I love to do it. That's the thing about me. I see hundreds of pickup lines all of the time. And then we'll have to write a book. We should write a book and just be fine with it. That's what I'm saying. Turn your guys' what you guys get frustrated with into a pro. If it's coming up as a frustration to you, you're probably really passionate about it. I am very passionate about dating websites now, all of a sudden. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I get hit on all the time. It's because when I first became single, the people that were hitting on me they were not good people. gosh, I don't even know. I'm probably going to tell you guys. I don't know. As a teacher, and like I said, as a person who studies human trafficking, I'm passionate about nonprofit organizations as bad as I'm 50-50. I am a little bit of a villain, bit of a villain. I love being a freak. And I also am passionate about keeping people safe. Being a voluntary freak, I do not condone sexual abuse. That's the one thing I don't accept, and the only thing that I've ever called the police on. If I find out anybody is abusing an animal or a child or a minor, or I mean, even if somebody was raped, it wouldn't matter. It would be sexual abuse. That's the one thing I'm passionate about, but you wouldn't really know that because I'm also into being kind of fucking inappropriate and freaking, like shake my ass. But that's a choice that I make. But either way, because I'm passionate about that and I want to open up a nonprofit organization, actually it's to focus on fucking suicide. And I want to focus on suicide prevention, and I want to focus on overdose. I want to focus on addicts, suicide, and I definitely am focusing on human trafficking. We'll get to that in a minute. That's going to be a whole different gig because human trafficking has a lot going on with it right now. Take your fucking toy and go, Hazel. But there's like different things that you're going to want to categorize. What are you passionate about? And do you understand what's going on and what that would require? So when I think about, and that is universal prosperity right there too, guys, because God will bless you. Some of you guys are thinking on this 3D, how the fuck can you get your blessings? Shit's temporary down here, guys. Like, it's not going to stay. Whether fucking people die or cheat or fucking grow old, they just get over it. Even people stop being able to function. Like, sex and love and traditional shit, it's temporary. Everyone gets bored. It's about, like, evolving all the time in your mind and keeping up probably about 5 things going at all time that you could be working on as projects go that are going to be investments, long-term investments. For now on, I want you to be thinking, when you spend money, how is it going to be an investment? Do you by chance have any other items of this sort? And every time you think about it, if you can, put that amount of money that you were going to spend and put it on the side. Start saving up and making sure that you don't spend money until your priorities are taken care of. Today, I'm going to pay my power and water, and I did have to work 6 days this week to get my mortgage, water, and power done. But I'll tell you what, I feel calm. And I took care of my taxes, my property taxes, met with the tax agent, confirmed that my 4th business license was going to go right on in and just fine with my last one. I have a barbering and a beautician license. I have a teaching license. I have a rental management license. And now I did my entertainment license. We have Cash App. We have Venmo. We have Facebook Pay, PayPal. I mean, you name it. The laws are changing because we are getting new things. So as you learn about